We use and abuse our Airstream. It has set next to salty oceans, it's gotten rained on, it's gotten pulled down very bumpy roads. It has scars and blemishes and scratch marks, and it's set around many smoky campfires to tell all the tales. So every once in a while, we like to give it a little bit of love and attention that it deserves.
Oh, my love. You are handsome. What is up, you guys? It is Lauren and Sam. We are the trailer couple dedicated to that simple life. And it is another wonderful day to fall off a ladder. I mean, clean our Airstream.
Yes, please do not fall off a ladder, people. But it is currently 9:18 in the morning, and Sam and I have a big day ahead of us working on some maintenance on our Airstream trailer. And we thought, hey, it's been a while since we've shared a cup of coffee with you guys. So here's our cup of coffee, and we plan to chat with you all a little bit about what our spring cleaning maintenance routine looks like. And hopefully by the end of this video, you can see that spring cleaning doesn't have to be a daunting task, but it's definitely something that's needed.
And it will be a great opportunity for you guys to see the effects of 70 milligrams of caffeine on my productivity levels. Before we get rolling here, let's talk about a book that's really useful in this subject matter, and it's written by our friend Rich. It's called The Nearly Complete Guide to Airstream Maintenance. We definitely use it. It's all-encompassing. It's nearly all-encompassing.
Yes, if you are an Airstream owner and you do not own this book,
what are you doing?
Own it! That's all we have to say. We'll leave the link somewhere. Two quick caveats. So the first one, we live in our Airstream Travel trailer full time, so we do not winterize our trailer. Many of you who live in colder environments do winterize, so just make sure that you de-winterize after the last frost. Secondly, this list does go from hardest to easiest. So hang with us for those first few and then stick with us through the end, because we promise it does get easier. This was really intimidating for Sam and I when we first started living in our Airstream Travel trailer full time, but we promise with practice, and if you stick with us through the end, it does get easier.
Now, we are not Airstream technicians, but as Lauren said, we like bringing the real world perspective to the party. Go ahead and leave us a comment if you have any questions, or if you want us to dive deeper on anything. If you do something slightly different, we'd love to hear from you. We're all about a good educational dialogue, because that's how we all learn. It's perfectly fine to pay to have some of this stuff done. If you don't feel safe getting on your roof, don't do it.
Don't fall off, my love.
I must be honest with you, we did lie to you. We're not doing all of this today. We actually started one of these last weekend, and that's tip number one. We always start every spring by washing our Airstream. We typically try to wash it on cool, shady days, but we also have a big oak that sits over our Airstream, and that provides a good amount of shade, so we pretty much wash it whenever. So we typically use two things when we wash the Airstream. Number one, we use a soft bristle long handle brush. It's very easy to wash at the top of the trailer without getting on top of it with that. And then number two, we use a soft regular car washing sponge or mitt just for the body. And you can just use generic clear coat safe car washing soap, and make sure to always scrub with the grain, not up and down. If there's a reason to use expensive soap, I haven't found it yet. And if you found it, then you can go ahead and just destroy us in the comment section.
When washing our Airstream Travel trailer, we have found that a foldable ladder has been a lifesaver. This just makes it much easier for us to get up and clean the roof with our long-handled brush. Never, under any circumstance, get on top of your roof when you are cleaning. That is just very unsafe, and there's just water and slipping and ambulances and broken femurs and stuff. So
it's very intense.
I'm just being honest. So one part that Sam and I typically usually forget to clean, but is very important, is on the inside of the window panels here. So all you need is a screwdriver. You just go ahead and unscrew. They go into these little almost rubber gaskets here. And then the big reveal.
Gross.
Gross. So this is, yeah, just a bunch of leaves and debris and pollen and gross stuff that gets stuck in these window panels here that we should be cleaning more often, and we try to do it, you know, at least 2 times a year. But never underestimate what you will find in here.
Since 1999, every single Airstream made has come with a fluorocarbon clear coat. You can also get aftermarket ceramic coatings. We've toyed with the idea of doing that in the past. They are pretty expensive. We've heard good things from people who've gotten them, but for us, we do use and abuse our Airstream like we've talked about. We've kind of just embraced the aging process, because if you are constantly worried about every little nick, every little fading part, every UV ray and blemish, it's not near as fun to go RVing. And for us, the reason we got this is for mobility, for simplicity, and to enjoy the great outdoors. And so as soon as we embraced the aging process, life got substantially easier with our Airstream. That's our take. I know other people really want to preserve their investment and will put money into it that way, but for us, that's the decision we made.
Life's too short, people. Embrace the blemishes.
I'm not getting Botox, okay, people? Nothing wrong with Botox. I'm not getting it.
But we are wearing sunscreen.
Yes.
All the time.
Yeah. I get so angry every time I get sunburned.
Oh,
I was
God.
sunburned from the ages of 14 to 24.
Chronic sunburn.
Just the whole time.
Just chronic sunburn, and now Sam comes and he has like one spot that I missed with sunscreen.
Yeah.
And he's like, ah! We also wax our Airstream Travel trailer in the spring. We try to wax it at least 2 times a year, so typically that looks like sometime in the fall and then sometime in the spring. And we use polymer-based products that's compared to non-polymer based products, because that's just what our really smart Airstream friends tell us to do. We've also used Wallburnizer Super Seal in the past and have had really good success with that as well. So really it's just finding what works well for you and sticking with it. You can wax your trailer or don't wax it.
Did you ever watch the original Karate Kid growing up?
No.
We need to culture Lauren. Lauren's not seen some quality classic movies.
I just was not a movie kid unless it was Disney.
Gosh, so much to learn. Anyway, so wax on, wax off, or don't wax on, wax off. It's really up to you guys. I know the most important parts of waxing are where bugs are gonna hit on your Airstream. So if you just do the upper panels, sometimes that can be sufficient. We usually do the whole thing because we're bored on the weekends, so.
Because we have no friends.
And we have no friends.
It's just a tad bit windy right now, and so we're not gonna get through all of our spring cleaning today like we had anticipated. Last thing you want is for your husband to be up on the roof in 30-mile-per-hour winds trying to clean the trailer. But look at our sunshade. That thing is holding up real nice. And if you haven't seen the video, check it out here. Cleaning tip number 2. Check and replace any missing rivets. I mean, really, you should be inspecting for missing rivets throughout the year, but we find that the springtime typically serves as a great time for us to do a thorough rivet inspection. There are 3 different types of rivets in an Airstream. Buck rivets, which are mainly used on the exterior, blind or pop rivets, which are mainly used on the interior, and then Olympic rivets, which can be used to replace missing buck rivets. Now, it's relatively common to lose a few interior pop rivets over the years, and those are super easy to replace yourself. We've lost a total of probably 7 in the last 3 years of full timing. Losing external buck rivets are much more rare, definitely harder to replace, and can often be a sign of bigger underlying problems. But if you lose a few pop rivets here and there, no big deal, you can always replace them yourself.
So really all you need to replace pop rivets is you need a drill, because sometimes the remaining rivet is kind of stuck in there and you have to just drill it out to clear the hole. And then you just need a rivet gun, so super inexpensive. And that's really all you need. We actually got a kit. This gun came with a bunch of different sizes of these rivets here, these pop rivets. I think the official name is like open end blind rivet. Don't quote me on that, but we call them pop rivets. Just goes into the end here. This is called a mandrel right here, and the shank of this goes into the rivet gun right there. And then all you do is basically just squeeze this right here. And I'll show you, we'll waste 1 rivet for this. So this is what happens. So I already have 1 rivet that's almost ready to pop here. This is what the original rivet looks like, right, that I put into the gun. And I will show you the difference. This is not quite popped yet. This one on my right side is about to pop. This one has not been actually touched yet. So this is a brand new rivet. You can see how this is starting to deform, and as this deforms, this will pull the 2 sheets of metal together. So I'm gonna put this in the rivet gun right now. We've already done 3 pulls on this, so this will be our 4th one, and you'll see it here. I'll try to go in slow motion, and this thing is gonna pop off of here and protect our eyeballs here. Ooh, there it goes. So what I have left here is I have my shank here, which is completely useless. This is a completed pop rivet. As you can tell, it's been deformed on the inside here. So if this was separated by 2 sheets of metal, this would be securely fastening those. But once in a while, these come undone, they break for a number of different reasons, by driving down long gravel roads like we tend to do. You could use some paint tape right here just to protect this from scratching. You just literally put this straight in there if it's completely missing the rivet, and you're gonna squeeze it a couple times here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll see if it takes another here. There it is, and then it just pops off. And that should feel much tighter, and it does. So usually that takes like 3 full squeezes, but I just realized that I wasn't squeezing it fully, so it took like 5. I actually pre-drilled that one. Sometimes you have to take your drill bit and drill out the existing part of the rivet, and then you can go ahead and do it.
He's so sweet. This is a sweet love and sweet boy.
So typically after we are done washing and waxing our Airstream, now is a great time to walk around it and just check the quality of the sealant that's on your Airstream. Now, it's a common misconception that you need to reseal your RV proactively every year, every 2 years. You need to replace your sealant when your sealant has failed. So go ahead and visually inspect the roof, visually inspect the sides of the RVs, the underbelly of the RV. All of those places can have sealant fail, and there can be gaps for rodents, for insects to get inside your trailer, for water to leak through the ceiling. So go ahead and just give it a good visual look over. We did some sealant repairs about a year ago, so we really don't expect to have a lot of issues right now. And so when we did our visual walkthrough outside, everything looked like it was in pretty good shape. So this year we're not going to be putting any new sealant down.
We use our handy foldable ladder when we are inspecting the roof in regards to seeing if there is any failed sealant up there. This is also a good time too to check to see if you have any missing or loose rivets up on the top of your roof. If a rivet has a black ring around it and the others don't, that's a sign that it may be loose, so something you want to look into. I've also seen little suction cups that people use to check to see if the butt rivets, the outside ones, are airtight. We don't have one of those suction cups, so we just do a visual inspection. And also, if you see any water coming into the trailer through the roof, definitely inspect that immediately and thoroughly.
Most common silicone sealants don't actually adhere well to aluminum, so we use polyurethane sealants. So we personally use Silcaflex 221 multi-purpose sealant. It's just what we have chosen to use because it's pretty easy to find and it's relatively user-friendly.
And again, to re-emphasize, we never reseal anything unless there is a very clear sign that something is wrong and that it needs to be addressed.
Number 4, who's having fun? We're having fun. Silicone spray is your best friend when it comes to maintaining an Airstream. So as needed, you can use silicone spray or grease on the metal latch to disconnect from the hitch ball if it doesn't move super smoothly. You can also apply a little silicone spray to the jack pole and the breakaway switch.
We put a little bit of silicone spray on our awnings just so they can slide a little bit easier.
So you know the importance of this, so you should never forget to lube, people. These vent line fans right up here, we replaced these a couple years ago. They are working great. You can just go ahead and take this toothbrush and just go ahead and clean this off here. Another thing is these can sometimes get really squeaky to put them in and out. And so we're just gonna use that silicone lubricant. And again, I should be wearing glasses for this, and I'm gonna actually go grab my glasses because eyeballs are important, people. I don't know if that's getting much better. You guys ever had really squeaky stabilizer jacks? I think this one's pretty squeaky. So it's definitely been probably a year since we've done this, and they have gotten pretty squeaky. So you see how much better that is here? I mean, still a little bit of squeak, but dramatically better than it was.
Okay, cleaning tip number 5. Let's talk about windows. So if you've been storing your Airstream travel trailer over the winter and you're pulling it out to do your spring cleaning, you definitely want to look into cleaning your windows, but you also want to make sure that you can open your windows before you clean them. So to normally open your Airstream windows, all you're going to do is come and open the latches here, and then you're going to use these, and it's going to help to prop the window open. But again, if you've been storing your trailer over the winter, you may find that this window is actually stuck onto the panel. So when you try to open it, it's gonna feel like it's not going anywhere, not budging at all. So instead of trying to force it open, because that can break your Airstream windows, instead, let me show you this one trick that you can do. So you're gonna take a credit card, some sort of card, you're gonna gently make sure the latches are open on the inside first. And then you're gently gonna slide that card in between the window and the window pane. Just run it along the inside here to help to pop it up. Grab it, and then have someone on the inside help you to put the little latches in so that the window stays up. This is absolutely the most satisfying part of cleaning your windows. So we just use an old toothbrush. All you do is you just go in and you can use the toothbrush to help to get all of this crud out of here. Lots of leaves, dirt. I would not recommend doing this when it's windy because then everything's just gonna blow right into your face. But use that toothbrush, clean it out, and then you can take just a damp paper towel and wipe out any dirt along the inside of the windows and the whole length of it. Also, living or just doing a lot of traveling in an RV or travel trailer, there's a lot of opportunities for there to have mold and mildew buildup just with the increased humidity that you can find in those smaller spaces. So while cleaning the windows, just take the extra second and just wipe off any of the bottom of the paneling, any other hardware that you see that could be possibly collecting lovely mold and mildew, because that's gross. I also want to apologize for the hurricane going on right now. It's actually not hurricane season here, but it feels like it should be. So sorry about that one. Once everything is looking nice and shiny and clean, then you want to go in with just your kind of generic silicone lubricant spray. The first thing I'm going to do is actually spray a little bit of it onto just the paper towel here. And then I'm going to take a second and just wipe around the whole outside of the paneling. This will help with keeping the window from sticking. Last little bit, I'm going to do a little bit of a spray on each of the latches here. You can do it from the outside, and then we also recommend doing a little squirt on the inside as well. So once everything is taken care of on the outside, you want to come in and use the silicone lubricant on the inside as well. So just make sure you have something protecting the surface right under the latch. Take that spray. I like to, the ones that Airstream, you can actually pull out a little bit, so I like to give it a little bit of a pull, do a little bit of a spray, give it a twist, and then wipe off any excess. Again, make sure you have that paper towel right under, so in case anything does decide to drip off, it's catching it and not falling onto your surface right below. And you want to make sure you do both sides. We've installed this specific, it's called No Seam gnat screen, and I'll leave the link down in the description, and I'll also put it right here. But it's small enough to where the no seams and other insects like mosquitoes and whatnot can't get inside. So we've installed that on the main door and then 2 of our windows, which has been a game changer in regards to us enjoying those cooler mornings right now in South Carolina. So if interested, like I said, check out the video here.
All right, number 6, super easy, super short. You need to pop off the tops of your batteries. You need to refill them with distilled water after you check their levels if they need it, okay? If you have lithium batteries, you don't need to do this, and you can skip to number 7. Easy.
Easy.
Wear eye protective gear when you do this. You do not want to spray yourself with battery acid in your face. It's a bad day. Airstreams have a lot of things, okay, but they do not come equipped with an eye wash station.
They should though, just for that task. Cleaning tip number 7, replace your water filters if you need to. So here's our little take on our water filters. For the past few years, we have been using an inline water filter that we've just gotten from Walmart, and we have to replace them more often than not. A lot of times we're just constantly replacing these filters. They don't hook up right and they're leaking and dripping water all the time, and you just don't really know the quality of the water that you're drinking. So for the past little bit, we've actually been using this awesome water filtration system that we got from AirGear, and we will again leave the link here, probably down here too. But this water filtration system has been amazing. We do not have to replace the filters as often as we do.
If you're only going a couple times a year, I'm sure those inline filters are great, but since we live in our RV full time, we wanted something that was really high quality, that was going to last, and that was going to actually filter our water well. So like she said, we use those inline filters for 3 years. They're easy. You just throw them on there and they're good to go. You just have to decide, what quality level of water filtration do you want to have? All right, number 8, this one is super important for warm climates like us in South Carolina. AC maintenance. This is something you should pay attention to because it does affect the efficiency of your air conditioning unit. A lot of Airstreams may have 2 air conditioning units. Ours is 27 feet and it only has 1 air conditioning unit, so it's very important that that works efficiently. So first, we start by cleaning the interior air filters. This is super easy to do. It looks a little bit different depending on what Airstream model you have, but it really just helps with cold air output. So depending on your year of Airstream and model of Airstream, your filters may look a little bit different. Some are secured by Phillips head screws. Ours is super easy to pop off and clean with a dry paper towel. These metal grills also get dusty, so make sure you can clean those off. You can use water, make sure they're dry before you install them again. Occasionally, we've seen a slow drip of water coming down through these air filters, and that's usually a sign that our condensation line is clogged again. And we have a couple different videos that we touched on this, and we'll leave the link for that here. Now, we're gonna move to the outside, and keep in mind that we're definitely not experts, so if you have any major issues with your air conditioners, you should definitely take it to a trained technician for any work. So don't step on any of the end panels and only put weight where you see rivets on your roof. Do not step on the middle of the panels. You will dent them, it'll be a bad time. First, remove your shroud, 4 screws, super easy.
Make sure you're wearing safety glasses for this next part. There's a lot of dirt and grime that comes off of these condenser coils and fins, especially ours. Like I said before, we've been slacking. I think this is the only second time out of the last 3 years that we've done this. And because of how dirty our unit was, I used a toothbrush to remove a substantial amount of dust and debris prior to applying our spray-on cleaner. Now you can clean these coils with water or compressed air, but I just elected to keep things simple with a toothbrush and this no-rinse coil cleaner that I bought off Amazon for $20. Do not bend these fins, that's very important. If you see any bent fins, you can try to straighten them with a fin comb, which, full disclosure, we do not own. Thankfully, our fins are in pretty good shape. After letting this sit for a few minutes, we use a toothbrush to rub this in, going only in the up and down motions and not side to side. So they say you should do this at least once a year and maybe even 2 times a year if you are a full timer. And like I said, we've done it twice in the last 3 years, so we definitely need to do better. We are not perfect and we have flaws. Now, this stuff does not need to be rinsed off, but I know some people like to do it afterwards. So if you wanted to bring a spray bottle up and rinse it off, but for me, water on the roof of an Airstream when I am up there does not mix.
Cleaning tip number 9, we are almost there. So this one is something that, again, I get a lot of joy out of doing. It's just kind of doing general cleaning out of compartments. I take everything out of the refrigerator, I clean that out, I clean and organize the outdoor compartment, I clean and organize the area where the water heater is and all the piping. Just make sure you do a quick wipe down, vacuum, and also just check to make sure that there are no leaking pipes. This is a really good time to do that, to make sure that everything is functioning appropriately.
And we have this nifty little vacuum that we use for a lot of this stuff, and on the outside, the refrigerator and the water heater have outside compartments as well. So you need to open those up, check for any nests. Some bugs can get in there. You've had a hornet's nest in there. It came at me. I'm reckless. 10, last but not least. This one is very important, but not very important at the same time. And I'm gonna explain that. So the dreaded words filiform corrosion. If you've owned an Airstream for long enough, you've definitely heard these words, and the approach to filiform corrosion varies depending on the owner of the Airstream. So earlier I said that we've kind of embraced the aging process. Let me elaborate a little bit about what filiform corrosion is first. So thankfully, filiform corrosion is just a cosmetic issue. If you don't know what it looks like, it kind of looks like spider webs under the clear coat. And filiform corrosion gets worse in salty or humid environments, which we pretty much always find ourselves in. We literally lived on the ocean for like over a year, and the amount of salt and humidity that was exposed to our Airstream was insane. So there's certain things you can't control. I would much rather live on the ocean than be afraid of filiform corrosion. There's really no way of getting rid of filiform corrosion without removing your clear coat and polishing and recoating, which is very difficult and it's pretty expensive. We heard you can treat filiform corrosion with certain products and corrosion protectant. Full disclosure, we've never done any of those things. Yes, we do wash and we wax with polymer-based wax, but if you have any success with reducing the amount of filiform corrosion, any certain products that you like using, please leave a comment below, because that is for our knowledge. Because if there's something easy that we can apply, we might start doing that.
Yeah, so we hope that was, like Sam said, a little bit helpful, and we know we can't cover everything, but we're hoping that this is a good start for you all in regards to cleaning your Airstream, especially if you're doing a spring cleaning like we are going to be doing today. If you have any more questions in regards to maintenance and cleaning, we highly recommend you check out Rich's book, and we will leave the link for that here and also down here for you guys to check out, because that has been a godsend and just extremely helpful.
Yeah, and the big thing about maintenance and cleaning your Airstream is the more you do it, the easier it gets. So don't be afraid of it. Get out there and fill up those campgrounds, people. The only rule is that you leave a spot next to you, and a cold one, for us to pull in at 10 p.m. after we get off work.
Yes. So in that case, let's go clean. Happy trails.
Happy trails, guys.